and welcome to today's video. Now today, I'm bringing back an old series that I used to do back in like 2020 because I was pretty bored. I'm bringing back Motorsport News. Basically what this is, or Motorsport Weekly News, but whatever, I'm just going to call it Motorsport News. So basically what this is I basically am going to go through a whole bunch of motorsports that I follow, or maybe it's like incredibly popular. So for instance, as of right now, in this video, I'm talking about F1, Formula E, Extreme E, Indycar, NASCAR, SRX, and Supercars. Those are the 8 motorsports I'll be talking about in this video. Obviously, there'll be a lot more, like probably maybe talk about IMSA, probably maybe talk about WEC, Formula 2, Formula 3. What other ones are there that I have? MotoGP and WRX. I think I said IMSA, but I can't remember. So there's also gonna be a lot more motorsports I'll probably talk about, or maybe I'll touch upon some motorsports which I don't really watch, but I still find pretty interesting. So anyways, let's get right into it. So first one that you can obviously see, Formula One has terminated contract with Russian Grand Prix promoter. This is obviously due to the crisis going on in Russia and Ukraine. Once again, my thoughts and prayers goes out to everyone who's affected by that, especially the Ukrainian population. But F1 has stepped in and has basically called it quits on the Russian Grand Prix for the foreseeable future. So the Russian Grand Prix will not be in the calendar for F1 in the future. So no more Igor Drive. Obviously, everyone, including myself, were very excited about that track for next year, but that's not gonna happen. Obviously, there's all breaking news there, but I'm probably gonna save that until I talk about the F1 entry list. I think sometime this month when the Bahrain Grand Prix comes up, which will be very exciting. The next bit of news I'll be talking about is also related to Russians, I guess, and that is Nikita Mazepin. Haas has parted ways with Nikita Mazepin with immediate effect due to the crisis in Russia and Ukraine. Obviously, Mazepin did not take too kindly behind this. I think he's now launched a new organization or a new charity. I can't remember what's it called, but it's very similar to We Race as One. Can't remember what's it called, but I'll put it up on screen if I can find a tweet or something related to that. And Urakali, which is obviously the sponsor that Mazepin's dad owns, has also been terminated as well due to the crisis. I think the sponsor Urakali is currently has filed a lawsuit or done something or did some like legal action against us because I don't think they paid out the money for this year. So obviously not very angry people going on in this situation. Obviously hopefully it does floor out and it does circle away before the season starts. If not, then that's going to be a bit of an issue. That's F1 all done. Let's now have a look at Formula E. So, obviously, Formula E started their season, and it was in Saudi Arabia. So they did 2 races in Saudi Arabia and 1 race in Mexico. Eduardo Mortara is currently the points leader. Obviously, I'll be doing this every couple weeks, maybe even every Thursday probably. But Eduardo Mortara is currently the points leader. Then second place is champion from last year, Nick De Vries, then Pascal Wehrlein, and Andre Lotterer, Stoffel Van Dorn, Jean-Eric Verne, Jake Dennis, Lucas de Grassi. He's now moved over from the defunct Audi team. He's now moved over to Rocco Venturi, Robin Fries, and Antonio Felix da Costa currently runs at the top 10. Then we go down over here. We have Sam Bird, Nick Cassidy, Sebastian Buemi, Oliver Rowland. He is now new at Mahindra. He used to be in Edam, so Nissan Edams. Oliver Askew is also new. He's now going to be a rookie for Andretti. Maximilian Gunther, also new. Well, not new, but new to the team at Nissan Edams. He used to be in the Andretti team, so the BMW Andretti team is now called Avalanche Andretti Formula E. Jaguar, so we got Mitch Evans in Jaguar, then Oliver Turvey, Alexander Sims, Sergio Santa Camara, then Dan Ticktum in the Neo team, and then and Antonio Giovinazzi in the Dragon Penske Autosport team. Obviously, those two are new. They also came from the Formula Series F2 and F1 respectively. And so race 1 winner was Nick DeVries, race 2 winner was Eduardo Montara, and race 3 winner was Pascal Wehrlein, who also got pole position, so he gets 2 extra points, which is pretty epic. So that's Formula E all done. Let's now have a look at Extreme E, which is new to this little series that I'm doing. So Extreme E, think of Extreme E as Dakar, but electric, obviously, because E. So basically, it's just like Formula E, but Dakar and off-roading. So let's just have a look at the standings. So the first race was at Saudi Arabia. The second race will be at Italy, if I remember correctly, and that'll be the Island E X Prix. I should probably say not E Prix, X Prix. So the table currently is what it looks like. We got the Rosberg X Rosberg Racing team, or I think it's Rosberg X Racing. I don't know. But they were our last year's champions, and they currently are up in a strong start. They have I just want to say I'm so sorry if I mispronounce any of these names. We have Mikhail Ashlyn Kotlensky. I probably need to work my pronunciations. Then Johan Kristofferson. Obviously both in the team. We got I know it's a science team. I know that. I'm just gonna call it a science team because that logo is terrible. I just want to say. We got Leia Sands and Carlos Sainz. So Carlos Sainz Senior. X44, the team that Lewis Hamilton owns. They got Christina Gutierrez and Sebastian Loeb. Those two have stayed the same, including the science team. The RXR team used to have Molly Taylor, an Australian. She's now moved over to another team, which I'll get to very, very soon. Chip Ganassi Racing will keep Sarah Price and Carl LeDuc. That's been exactly the same. A new team has entered, which is McLaren X Racing. I think that's what's called. MX, I don't know. They got Emma Gilmore and Tanner Faust, so that's all new. Excite Energy Team or something, I think it's called. Yeah, Excite Energy Team. I think they have Tamara Molinaro and Oliver Bennett. I think Bennett is say the same. I think Molinaro is new. Then Andretti say the same with Kate Munnings and Timmy Hansen. At has basically been completely different. They have Jutta Kleinschmidt and Nazar Al Atita. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced his name. But that's apt. JBXE will be keeping Kevin Hansen, but they've obviously gotten Molly Taylor, last year's champion. And in Veloce Racing, I think they kept Christine Jeezy, because even though she has like a really long last name, so just put GZ there. And they've added Lance Woodridge. I think it was Stefan Saracen and Jamie Chadwick. Those are the two drivers who were formerly there last year. But those are the standings as of right now. Probably have a look at this as well. I think the next race is in May, so that's going to take a long time. Indycar is next. Oh, don't I just love Indycar. So currently, Scott McLaughlin won his first race and his first pole at the first race of the season at St. Petersburg. Second place in was Alex Palou, then Will Power, then Colton Herta. Roman Grosjean has moved over from Dale Coyne Racing to Andretti Autosports. Then Renus VK, Graham Rahal, Scott Dixon, Marcus Ericsson, Takuma Sato is now in the Dale Coyne Racing, basically the car that he replaced Grosjean with. Christian Lundgaard, he is a rookie, an IndyCar rookie, formerly from the F2 scene. He's now moved over to IndyCar in the Rahal Lenneman Lanigan Racing. Pato Ward, and then Jack Harvey, he's moved over to Rahal Lenneman Lanigan Racing. Then Elio Castroneves, Simon Pagino, both with Meyershank Racing. Castroneves will be now doing a full-time effort, except and not a part-time that he did last year. Joseph Newgarden, Felix Rosenqvist, Kyle Kirkwood, he is also an IndyCar rookie. He was Indy Lights champion last year. Callum Island, former Ferrari Academy driver, he's now with Young Coast Racing. Alexander Rossi, Connor Daly, Devlin DeFrancesco, he's also an IndyCar rookie. He's with Andretti Autosports or Andretti Steiner Brenner Autosports. Jimmy Johnson, Tatiana Calderon, she's also new. She'll be doing a part-time schedule, only doing the road courses for AJ Foyt Enterprises. Dalton Keller and David Malukas, who will be basically the Takuma Sada's teammate, who I think came second place in Indy Lights. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was either DeFrancesco or Malukas who came second. I can't remember who. But here's also some other drivers who will be doing some races this season. Marco Andretti, Ed Carpenter, Santino Ferrucci, Tony Kanaan, Sage Karam, and Juan Plapa Montoya. Those are the drivers who will be also competing in the IndyCar series at some point. So move on to NASCAR, and we have one interesting news and one very sad news, which I'll get to in a bit after this. But a new racing team has emerged out of nowhere, and it's called Team Stage Racing. Well, they're not new; they're just new to the NASCAR scene. I think Team Stage Racing, they are an IndyCar team, if I remember correctly, which is very interesting. I was not expecting an IndyCar team to get into NASCAR, but the driver is also incredibly interesting as well. Tasso Marquez. He will be so they'll be competing in 8 Cup races in 2022. Don't know who Tasso Marquez is? He is a former F1 driver. He used to race for Minardi, I think, in the late 90s or early 90s. I can't remember, but I think he did used to race for Minardi. He competed in 24 F1 Grand Prix, and he'll be the new Cup Series driver for the team. They'll also be doing a Truck Series team as well at Sonoma on June 12th. And for the Cup Series, their first race will be at Road America. See if they can actually qualify. They probably will automatically qualify because there's only 36 spots for charters. And there's I think there's 4, yes, 37, 38, and 94, yeah, so there's 4 free spots that will be open for open cars, or cars that don't have charters, basically. I can't be bothered to explain the charter system, it is confusing. But as for the sad news, obviously, you probably have already heard about it, but the Texas Highway Patrol confirmed that the DGR hauler driver Steven Stutz was pronounced dead at the scene. Passengers John Zavel and Michael Mizil are in stable condition. I think they're out of the hospital as well, which is really good. Driver of the other vehicle involved is in stable condition. That were taking an ARCA car to Phoenix. I think this is Taylor Gray's car, if I remember correctly. I think he drives a 17. I might be wrong. But sad news. Came out legit yesterday, and I forgot to I was planning to cover it in the Phoenix results, but I decided to just do it right now because I'm just going to do a little motorsports news, because why not? DGR released a statement as well. We are deeply saddened to confirm the passing of Steven Stutz, co-driver of our number 17 ARCA team transporter, that was involved in an accident earlier this morning near Longview, Texas. Our deepest sympathies goes out to Steven's family and friends. John Seville and Michael Mizell, who were passengers in the transporter, have been treated and released from a local hospital. Our continued thoughts are with the driver of the second vehicle involved in the accident. Obviously, I feel like truck drivers, just driving a hauler to across a country is a incredibly difficult task, and they are basically the unsung heroes of how Eric Isep basically called them. Great guy, I just want to say. But they are the unsung heroes that no one really talks about. They talk about drivers, the crew chiefs, the spotters, the mechanics as well, the crew guys, but no one talks about the haulers, like the hauler drivers. So this is a perfect example of why they are probably the most important person in the team. If they crash, they wouldn't be able to race or anything. So, my thoughts and prayers goes out to Steven's family and friends who are affected by this terrible tragedy. And hopefully they'll be. I just wish them the very best, because it's a terrible situation that they had to deal with. But let's now move on to the SRX, which is also going to be another motorsport which I'll be covering this year. So, full-time drivers. So I will be doing an entry list video for this series, so don't worry. But as of right now, as of currently as I'm recording on the 10th of March, here are the full-time drivers. So the drivers who will be returning to the series, we got Paul Tracy, Tony Stewart, Michael Waltrip, Bobby Labonte, Greg Biffle, and Marco Andretti. Two new drivers, which is IndyCar Series regular, well, former IndyCar Series regular Ryan Hunter-Reay, and former NASCAR Cup Series driver Ryan Newman. Both of them will be competing full time in the series, and I'm incredibly excited to see how this series goes into the future. For the part-time drivers, Haley Deegan will be back again in a part-time schedule. Ernie Francis Jr., who was full-time last year, will now downscale to a part-time. Elio Castroneves was also, so Elio Castroneves was also full-time, but will be also scaling down to part-time because of his IndyCar endeavors. Ryan Blaney, he'll be new to the series along with Matt Kenseth. Tony Kanaan will be. I think Tony Kanaan was always part-time. Correct me if I'm wrong. But Ryan Blaney is a little. Let's say it's gonna be a little battle of the Blaneys at Sharon Speedway at basically the finale of SRX. Matt Kenseth will be also doing 3 races: Nashville, I-55, and Sharon Speedway as well. I think as of all of them. Oh my God. I think Tony Kanaan is the driver with the most um, tracks. Then for the guest drivers, we have Joseph Newgarden, who'll be only racing at Nashville Speedway, and then Dave Blaney, who will be at Sharon Speedway. Basically, it'll be called the Battle of the Blaneys at Sharon Speedway. There's also a one right here, which is a driver from the Deep South Crane Blizzard series. A series I've never heard of. But they'll be racing at Five Flag Speedway, and I'm very interested in who that driver is. It's probably a driver I've never heard of. Most definitely a driver who I've never heard of. But yeah, there it is right there. I just noticed it. I'll be honest. It's a Five Flag Speedway. Puts a spot in Track's SRX race up for grabs during an upcoming race weekend. So I'm gonna guess the winner of the Deep South Crane Blizzard series would be in the SRX at Five Flag Speedway. I think it's kind of what Nice Motorsports did of whoever's going to win in the I can't remember, in some dirt race for Knoxville. I can't remember what the series is called, which is a bit of an issue. But I know Talon Carpenter won that, and I obviously covered that in my Truck Series video. Here's the schedule. Total of 6 races. So I think there might be like a rotation, which would be interesting. So Five Flag Speedway, South Boston Speedway, Stafford Motorsport Speedway, which is the returning one, including Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, I-55 Raceway, and Sharon Speedway, which is and the rest of the last 2 will be dirt. All 4, the first 4 will be paved. I guess it's like that's a pretty good mix. Obviously, last year, did the same paved and dirt, and it's just like the same here. It'll be broadcasted on CBS and Paramount Plus, which is interesting. But that's only in the US. I don't know about international though. I think you might need to find it on YouTube at some point. But yeah, so that's SRX all done. Obviously, just like I said, I'll be doing a full entry list of SRX for the season. VA Supercars, well, just Supercars Championship actually. Just like SRX, I will be doing a Supercars Championship entry list for the Bathurst 1000. I'll probably also maybe do one for IndyCar as well for the Indy 500. But they did 2 races at Sydney Motorsports Park to start off the season, and this is what the standings currently looks like. I'll be doing this basically every Thursday probably. So Motorsport news every Thursday, probably be uploaded on Friday. So I got Chaz Mostert, Anton Di Pasquale, Shane Van Gisbergen, and Brody Kostecki, Will Davison, Cameron Waters, Will Brown, Andre Heimgartner. He's moved over from Kelly Grove Racing to Brad Jones Racing. Obviously, I'll be mentioning only the drivers who had a team change in the off season. Tim Slade and Brock Feeney ran out of the top 10. Brock Feeney has a lot of shoes to fill because he is replacing the 7-time champion of Jamie Whincup. He's now moved over to a team principal role in the Red Bull Ampol Racing team. And then we got Nick Percat, James Courtney. Well, actually, Nick Percat also moved to a different team. He is now with Walkinshaw Andretti United after moving from Brad Jones Racing. James Courtney, Mark Winterbottom, Todd Hazelwood. He used to be from Brad Jones Racing. He's now with Matt Stone Racing. Bryce Forward used to be from Walkinshaw Andretti United. He's now moved over to Brad Jones Racing. David Reynolds, Thomas Randall. He was in a part-time effort with Tickford Racing last season. He's now full-time with the team. Jack LeBrock used to be with Tickford Racing. He's now with Matt Stone Racing. Jack Smith, Lee Holsworth. He replaced Andre Heimgartner from Kelly Grove Racing. Well, it's now called Grove Racing. The team has also been renumbered to the number 10, not the number 7. And then we got Jake Kasecki. He's now with Tickford. He used to be with Matt Stone Racing. Chris Pither. I think he was on the sidelines. He's now replaced Fabian Coulthard. Team Sydney has also changed their name from Team Sydney to Premier Air Racing. I can't remember who bought it, but yeah. And then Macaulay Jones, Scott Pye, and Gary Jacobson. I think he used to drive the 24 car. Correct me if I'm wrong. Or no, I think it was the 24. Maybe it was the 19. I don't know, one of those ones. But he has now renumbered to the 76 car for Premier Air Racing. That's really about it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you guys want any more motorsport news. I'll try to improve myself on that. Catch you guys all next time in the next one. Goodbye.